Morning, Steve Frady in Chicago with the morning grain comments. It was cool this morning coming into Chicago, but it's clear, and I think for this week, for most of the Midwest, we'll see mostly clear conditions, but remain on the cool side. Could be some rains across the southern part of the U.S. This week, so we'll have to kind of watch that and the impact that might have on the soft wheat crop and the finishing up of the corn and sorghum plantings. The extended models, as we go later into April and early into May, looks a little bit warmer and maybe drier for the Midwest. That should allow for good planting conditions. There was a lot of data out last night. Number one, U.S. corn planting is 9% done. The 5-year average is 13%. It's a little bit behind what the market had thought. And winter wheat ratings were unchanged, 42% good to excellent versus 34 last year. We saw some declines in Kansas, South Dakota, and Texas, but Nebraska, Oklahoma, and most of the soft red winter wheat states improved. Spring wheat plantings, 36% done versus 19 average. North Dakota is 22 versus 9. We had a few individual soybean planting states report, like Arkansas, 11% of their beans are planted versus 12 average. Biggest topsoil moisture shorted places, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Colorado, Minnesota, and Nebraska. The biggest surplus topsoil moistures, Arkansas, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, and Tennessee. We also noted that there is some talk that the Argentina soybean crop could be closer to 9 million tons versus 57. Brazil could be higher than the USDA's 94.5, and people are raising the Brazil corn crop 2 million tons to 77.0. Corn, bean, wheat prices a little bit lower overnight, and the corn, it might be because Argentina authorized 3.5 million more tons of export licenses. That brings their total to 11.5. We also note that the overall, if we took and looked at the southern corn acres that are not yet planted in states like Arkansas and across into the Carolinas, those states add up to about 2 million acres not yet planted. So we always thought that sometime between April 15th and 25th might be a cutoff date in which farmers might try to switch from corn to other crops, maybe beans. So that we'll have to watch that 2 million acres pretty closely and see if it gets planted to corn and if it's switched to soybeans. Outside markets, the dollar is a little bit higher, crude's a little bit lower. Chinese stocks rebounded from their loss yesterday, and the Chinese ag futures are mixed, with the soybeans higher and corn lower. So we're a little bit easier overnight, kind of chop around until we know more about the weather this year across the U.S. The global supplies are offering resistance to prices, and on Friday the May options expire, and we'll see which strike price we hover towards as we get closer to that date. Again, these are my thoughts, not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.
And that is going on number 5617.